There are seasons in life when nothing looks dramatic from the outside, but inside, everything feels heavy. I've been grieving my mother for 4 months now. And while the pain is still there, I noticed something else quietly growing beside it. Fatigue. The tiredness of waking up every day and feeling miserable again. And then, just a few days ago, my dog died. And suddenly I found myself right back inside that same pain, that same depth of grief, as if nothing had moved at all. What surprised me wasn't the pain itself. It was how strong my resistance to it had become, almost as strong as the grief. I didn't want to live there again, not because I didn't love, but because I was tired of losing myself inside the pain of loving. And I realized something important. I wasn't just grieving loss. I was grieving instability. So I sat down, not to escape, but to look honestly at what was happening inside me. Two reflections I had written recently came back to me. Whispers about instability, about building on things that move. And suddenly it became very clear. Every time I fall back into that deep misery, it's because I've placed my stability on something that could not carry it. Emotions, people, love that is real but not eternal. Even in the most beautiful relationships, even in the deepest bonds, even in the purest love for another living being, are still fragile. They change, they leave, they end. And when I build my inner life on something fragile, my heart collapses with it. this realization wasn't harsh. It wasn't condemning. It was clarifying. I wasn't being punished by grief. I was being invited to move my foundation. I began to see something I hadn't named before. The moments in my life when I felt the most joy, the most peace, even the most quiet euphoria, were never tied to a specific thing or person. They were moments of abundance. Not abundance of possessions, not abundance of people, but abundance of being. And now I understand what that abundance really was. Alignment with God. This grief, this deep pain for my mother, and now for my dog, is love, pure love. And love has to go somewhere. If it is poured entirely into what is temporary, it leaves the heart unstable. I realized God was gently inviting me to return that love to its true source, to canalize it back to Him. Because God does not leave, God does not die, God does not shift with seasons or circumstances. God is rock. And suddenly, something inside me rested. This doesn't mean I stopped loving people, or that I loved my dog or my mother too much. It means I no longer ask them to be my foundation. From now on, I want to be more conscious about where I place my hope, where I place my emotional weight, and where I build my life. Because building on unstable things always leads back to disappointment, loneliness, and that familiar fall into misery. God is not asking me to stop feeling. He's asking me to build on what remains when everything else moves. At the same time this inner shift was happening, our new olive oil was being bottled, delivered, ready. A new beginning asking for attention, for presence, for faithfulness. And I felt it clearly. Not as a pressure, but as alignment. I am still grieving, and I'm still moving forward. These two things can exist together. I don't need to be free of pain to build on what is solid. I only need to choose the rock. And today, that is enough.